जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा। श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा। श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Vrindavan Chandra Radha Vrindavan Chandra Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha Baladeva Subhadra Jaya Sudarshana. Jaya Balaji Bhagwan, Balaji Bhagwan, Balaji Bhagwan, Jaya Balaji Bhagwan. Jaya Gaurang Nitai, Gaurang Nitai, Gaurang Nitai, Jaya Gaurang Nitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Gurudev. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhams Parijakacharya Ashtotra Divine Grace Abhay Charanand Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhams Parijakacharya Ashtotra Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय. ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की जय. मथुरा धाम की जय. नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय. पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय. द्वारकापुरी धाम की जय. गंगा मैया की जय. यमुना मैया की जय. भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय. पतित पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणाम्। हरे कृष्णा। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम स्कंद 6 अध्याय 3 श्लोक क्रमांक 20 और 21। स्वयंभूर्नारद शंभु कुमारा कपिलो मनु प्रह्लादो जनको भीष्मो बलिर्वैयासकीर्वयं द्वादशैते विजानीमो धर्मं भागवतं भटः गुह्यं विशुद्धं दुर्बोधं यन्नात्वामृतम् अश्नुते। स्वयंभूर्नारद शंभु कुमारः कपिलो मनु प्रह्लादो जनको भीष्मो बलिर्वैयासकीर्वयं द्वादशैते विजानीमो धर्मं भागवतं भटः गुह्यं विशुद्धं दुर्बोधं यन्नात्वामृतम् अश्नुते। स्वयंभूर्नारद शंभु कुमारः कपिलो मनु प्रह्लादो जनको भीष्मो बलिर्वैयासकीर्वयं द्वादशैते विजानीमो धर्मं भागवतं भटः गुह्यं विशुद्धं दुर्बोधं यं ज्ञात्वामृतम् अश्नुते। स्वयंभूनारद शंभु कुमारा कपिलो मनु प्रह्लादो जनको भीष्मो बलिर्वैयासकीर्वयं द्वादशैते विजानीमो धर्मं भागवतं भटः गुह्यं विशुद्धं दुर्बोधं यं ज्ञात्वामृतम् अश्नुते। स्वयंभूनारद शंभु कुमारा कपिलो मनु प्रह्लादो जनको भीष्मो बलिर्वैयासकीर्वयं द्वादशैते विजानीमो धर्मं भागवतं भटः गुह्यं विशुद्धं दुर्बोधं यं ज्ञात्वामृतम् अश्नुते। स्वयंभूर्नारद शंभु कुमारा कपिलो मनु प्रह्लादो जनको भीष्मो बलिर्वैयासकीर्वयं द्वादशैते विजानीमो धर्मं भागवतं भटः गुह्यं विशुद्धं दुर्बोधं यम ज्ञात्वामृतम अश्नुते. Vaishnavis. Swayambhur Narada Shambhu Kumara Kapilo Manu Prahlado Janako Bhishmo Balirvaya Sakirvayam Dvadasaite Vijanimo Dharmam Bhagavatam Bata Guhyam Vishuddham Durbodham Yam Nyatva Ashnute. Word by word translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Swayambhu, Lord Brahma. Narada, the great saint Narad. Shambhu, Lord Shiva. Kumara, the four Kumaras. Kapila, Lord Kapil. Manu, Swayambhu Manu. Prahlada, Prahlad Maharaj. Janaka, Janak Maharaj. Bhishma, grandfather Bhishma. Bali, Bali Maharaj. Vyasaki, Shukdev, the son of Vyasadev. Vayam, we. Dvadasha, 12. Ete, these. Vijanimah, no. Dharmam, real religious principles. Bhagavatam, which teach a person how to love the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bataha, O my dear servants. Guhyam, very confidential. Vishuddham, transcendental, not contaminated by the material modes of nature. Durbodham, not easily understood. Yam, which. Nyatva, understanding. Amrutam, eternal life. Asnute, he enjoys. Translation. Lord Brahma, Bhagwan Narad, Lord Shiva, the four Kumaras, Lord Kapila, the son of Devahuti, Swayambhu Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, Janak Maharaj, grandfather Bhishma, Bali Maharaj, Shukdev Goswami, and I myself know the real religious principle. My dear servants, this transcendental religious principle, which is known as Bhagavad Dharma or surrender unto the Supreme Lord and love for Him, is uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. It's very confidential and difficult for ordinary human beings to understand. But if by chance one fortunately understands it, he is immediately liberated, and thus he returns home back to Godhead. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna refers to Bhagavad Dharma as the most confidential religious principle. Sarva Guhyatamam, Guhyad Guhyataram. Krishna says to Arjuna, because you are my very dear friend, I am explaining to you the most confidential religion. Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Give up all other duties and surrender unto me. One may ask, if this principle is very rarely understood, what is the use of it? In answer, Yamraj states herein that this religious principle is understandable if one follows the parampara system of Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, the four Kumaras, and the other standard authorities. There are 4 lines of disciplic succession, one from Lord Brahma, one from Lord Shiva, one from Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, and one from the Kumaras. The disciplic succession from Lord Brahma is called a Brahma Sampradaya. The succession from Lord Shiva, Shambhu, is called a Rudra Sampradaya. The one from the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi ji, is called a Sri Sampradaya. And the one from the Kumaras is called a Kumar Sampradaya. One must take shelter of one of these 4 Sampradayas in order to understand the most confidential religious system. In the Padma Puran, it is said, Sampradaya Vihina e mantraste nishvala mataha. If one does not follow the four recognized disciplic successions, his mantra or initiation is useless. In the present day, there are many apasampradayas or sampradayas which are not bona fide, which have no link to authorities like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, the Kumaras, or Lakshmi. People are misguided by such sampradayas. The Shastras say that being initiated in such a sampradaya is a useless waste of time, for it will never enable one to understand the real religious principles. Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavancha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Stam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sya Namavom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Panschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Sri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhasya Krupa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Nama Hare Nama Eva Kevalam Kalau Nastaiva 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 Gatiranyatha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. It's my great fortune to be serving all of you, and I am inspired and encouraged by the presence of His Grace, Sarvalakshan Prabhu, Vansivadan Prabhu, and Rasguru Prabhu, and all of you. Thank you for inspiring me. This is a very important shloka, and without your encouragement, I don't think I'll be able to speak much on this shloka. The Prabhupada's purport is very instructive for a sadhaka, and Prabhupada talks about the four sampradayas, the importance of these four sampradayas: Brahma Sampradaya, Shri Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, or Kumar Sampradaya. And in the end, Prabhupada says that if you are not connected to any of these sampradayas, it is very difficult and a useless waste of time. Shrama eva hi kevalam. For we will never, and it will never enable us to understand the real religious principles. Here, in the translation, Prabhupada explains Bhagavatam, the religious principle, Dharmam, real religious principle, Bhagavatam, which teaches a person how to love the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Love. And that's very, very instructive and informative. It's not the duty, but it's the love that is exchanged between the Lord and the soul. And that is Bhagavatam. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat prantam. And then, again the word here is Nyatva amritam ashnute. Here in the translation, amritam is eternal life. But for a sadhaka, amritam is the taste of amrut, relishment. How do we relish the service? How do we relish the glorification of the Lord? How to relish the chanting of the holy name of the Lord? How to relish the beautiful darshan of the Lord? That is amrut for a sadhaka, which is very, very difficult to attain unless we get the mercy of the Vaishnavas, authorities and Guru, etc. So this is what is being told to us in the particular Prabhupada's purport. The background is Yamadutas are very disappointed and they have approached their spiritual master, Yamraj, to know that why for the first time they have been defeated and they have to return empty-handed. This had never happened. They had received the instructions of Yamraj, but now Yamraj is explaining to them the principles of Bhagavad Dharma. And we have our acharyas. Prabhupada in Srimad Bhagavatam or Srimad Bhagavatam talks about 12 Mahajans. In fact, for us, every great devotee is a Mahajan. All the personalities mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam who are relishing bhakti, all the personalities in Chaitanya Charitamrita who are the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are also Mahajans. And what is their main characteristic? Bhagavad Gita in 9th chapter, 13th shloka explains to us who is a Mahatma. Mahamanastu mam partha daivim prakritim ashrita. Bhajanti ananya manaso natva bhutadim avyayam. And in that particular purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions to us that the devotee or Mahatma has taken the shelter of the divine nature or divine spiritual energy of the Lord. And those who are conditioned have taken the shelter of material energy. So how do we understand who are Mahatmas who have taken the shelter of the divine energy? Many acharyas tell us that Daivi Prakritim is Radharani. She is the Ladini Shakti of the Lord, the topmost of the servants of the Lord. Once, Prabhupada was discussing with his disciples, and one of the disciples mentioned that Prabhupada, Bhagavatam talks about 12 Mahajans. So you are also now 13th Mahajan. And then Prabhupada replied, you can also be 14th Mahajan. So for us, to know Mahajan, what is his nature? How does he behave and react with others? Is very, very important. And that's why our acharyas give stress on the inner aspects of Krishna consciousness. For a sadhaka, there is a variance, there is a duality sometimes. His external behavior may not coincide with his inner consciousness. I'm telling you from my own experience. No offense to anyone sitting here. Externally, I pretend to be humble. I pretend to be tolerant, not envious. But inside, there's a lot of struggle going on, full of envy, non-tolerance, pride, etc., etc. But the Mahatma is the one, as Prabhupada mentions, he has controlled his anarthas. These anarthas are removed, and his inner consciousness, that's love for Krishna. That's actually the inner consciousness of every soul. That's what Chaitanya Charitamrita also discusses. And which can be aroused by Shravanam. Shuddha Chitte Koriye Uday. And which is there, inherent in all of us. But we have not realized it. So that's why there is a struggle. External force of Maya Devi and internal struggle. Sadhaka trying to overcome his anarthas. The struggle is going on. But a Mahatma is beyond that struggle. His inner consciousness in his outer external behavior or external consciousness is same. Full of love for Krishna, full of compassion for living entities. Because he knows that all the living entities are part and parcel of Krishna. And is there to serve them in form of guidance, spiritual guidance, and in form of upliftment of, and helping them to go back to spiritual world. This is the real consciousness, and that is Krishna consciousness. Not me and my consciousness. And that's why humility, tolerance, titikshava karunika, Sridam Sarvadeinam, Ajata Shatru Shanta, Shanta Sadhu Bhushana. So these ornaments are reflected in his behavior and they're quite natural. He doesn't have to act. He's just like that. So all our acharyas represent this nature. And how have they attained this nature? And I'm talking about our acharyas coming from our Chaitanya Charitamrita Sampradaya and Prabhupada and his disciples. Lord Chaitanya came to teach us this love of God. Prema Pumartho Mahan. And Apani Acharim Bhaktim Sikhaimu Sabare. He exhibited that nature. He had that interaction of love with everyone. Wherever he went, he conquered everyone by love and compassion and by his beautiful transcendental behavior. South India, Jharkhand, even animals, Vrindavan, wherever he went. There's total heart transformation of whoever he met. Before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advented, he also gave the conception of love to very, very fortunate personalities. Chandidas, Vidyapati, Bilomangal Thakur, Jaidev Goswami. They appeared about 300 or 400 years before the advent of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur informs us, instructs us that Lord Chaitanya, being very magnanimous, very merciful, gave the conception of love of God in the heart of these great acharyas. They did not have the association of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but Lord Chaitanya manifested in their hearts. And that's why they could write so beautifully poems and scriptures, which their love or glorification of Lord reflected in their writings. And today is the disappearance day of one of our great acharyas, Jaidev Goswami. We'll just, here Prabhupada mentions, if you are not connected to a sampradaya, how the great writings of these, our acharyas, can bewilder a personality materially. At the same time, the great writings, especially Gita Govind, Karnamrut, also transcendentally bewildered and put Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in ecstasy. So transcendental bewilderment in form of ecstasy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't know where he was. Totally in internal consciousness, what is happening around. Thinking he's in Golok Vrindavan, but actually he's in Jagannath Puri. And some other personality who is not connected to Sampradaya. He does his PhD on Gita Govind. So this is incident is narrated in one of the lectures of by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Many years back, Maharaj was giving a class. And after the class, one American scholar approached him. He introduced himself, saying, "Oh, I have done my PhD on Gita Govinda. I know ins and outs of Gita Govinda. I also have analyzed and understood the personality of Lord Krishna. He is a thief. He is stealing other people's wives. So why are you worshipping Krishna? Why don't you worship Ram, Narsimha, etc., other Vishnu incarnations?" And he was smoking, and he was accompanied by his wife. So Maharaj gently asked him, "Oh, very nice. You have done a thesis on Gita Govinda. But have you read Srimad Bhagavad Gita? No. So you don't know what is the elementary knowledge. The Bhagavad Gita talks about soul and spirituality. So without understanding Srimad Bhagavatam, is like studying in the first standard, second standard. You are trying to jump to PhD level." He got the message. His wife was tugging him. He said, "No, my wife is telling me, me to go with her. So excuse me." And then he went. This is material bewilderment. You do PhD. You think I am great. You think I know everything. Recently, a doctor also was discussing with me. The human body, beautifully created by the Lord, so delicately arranged, so balanced. And if any slight thing goes, we are diseased. Ulcer, cancer, name so many things, diseases. A slight disarrangement. And these doctors, so-called surgeons, and they do a lot of research. They are trying to understand the body, but still they haven't. And then my question was, when they are trying to study this, can't they understand and appreciate the nature of the Creator who has created this so delicately inside? How there's a peritoneum, how the organs are inside quite situated and functioning very nicely. So that doctor, who's a devotee, he said, those people are not into they because they have so much ego. They think, I will be able to find out. I'll be able to. Only the question of time. I'll be able to know everything about the body. This is me and my consciousness. And what is this spiritual consciousness? It's also bewildering. And for a sadhaka also it's most bewildering. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's an Antalila. And Antalila pastimes are totally bewildering. Unless we understand the purpose of Srila Prabhupada and we get his mercy. Sometimes it's very difficult to understand. So one of the purports in Antalila, I think it's maybe 13th chapter. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to Yameshwar garden. And suddenly he hears a female voice singing beautifully from the main Jagannath temple. She's a Devdasi, and still the system is going on. Now the Devdasis are not there, but Geet Govinda's verses and songs are recited for the pleasure of Lord Jagannath, Baldev and Subhadra. And this female lady in a Gujari tone was singing this beautiful recitation of Gita Govind. And as soon as Mahaprabhu heard this tune, he was totally transformed. He was full of ecstasy. He was transcendentally bewildered. And he started running straight, not to the main road. There were a lot of hedges and all. Went through the hedges. The thorns were hurting him, but he was unaware of that. And Govinda started running behind him. And we know how Mahaprabhu is to run so very fast. And Mahaprabhu was about to enter the temple and embrace that female singer. He was totally unaware of what is happening, whether the singer is a man or a woman. He was totally focused on that beautiful tune of Jaidev Goswami's Gita Govind. Such a potency Gita Govind has. And that potency is also Jaidev Goswami's potency. The mercy of Lord Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And just in time, Govinda caught hold of Mahaprabhu, held him tightly. Mahaprabhu, she's a lady, she's a woman. And then Mahaprabhu came to external consciousness. He said, Govinda, you have saved me from a great calamity. I am so grateful to you. And please, Govinda, always be with me. Because this material world is full of such calamities. Now Mahaprabhu is enjoying the spiritual calamity. It's a spiritual transcendental incident that is happening. But the whole world would have been looking at it from material point of view. So that's why Mahaprabhu is saying it's a calamity. So please always be with me and save me from such calamities. So this is transcendental bewilderment. What a difference. Again, Mahaprabhu tells us so many instructions Mahaprabhu is giving through his behaviors. In Antalila, Mahaprabhu, who is Radharani, mood of Radharani, Krishna in the mood of Radharani, his most confidential associates are Swarup Damodar, Goswami, Lalita Sakhi, and Ramanand Rai, Vishaka Sakhi. What are they doing the last 12 years? Especially the night time. Morning time, Mahaprabhu is chanting. Mahaprabhu is meeting his associates. Chanting on beats. Sadhana Bhakti. Give an example of how a sadhaka should behave. But night time, Braja Bhakti. And what are they doing? They are reciting. Mahaprabhu is always in ecstasy. He is in so-called pain of separation. The word pain is used. But is it a pain for Mahaprabhu? It is not a pain. It's an ecstasy. It's an ecstasy. And he's sharing this ecstasy with his close associates, Lalita and Vishaka Sakhi. Mad chitta madgata prana, bodhayanta parasparam, katayanta shimam nityam tushyanticha ramanticha. They're engrossed in reciting the poems of Chandidas, Vidyapati, Bilomangal Thakur's Krishna Karnamrut, Jaidev Goswami's Gita Govind. Along with that, Srimad Bhagavatam verses and Ramanand Rai's Jagannath Vallabh Nataka. So Rup Damodar is beautifully singing the poems, and Ramanand Rai is beautifully reciting the verses. Mahaprabhu, all three of them are in internal consciousness. They are in spiritual world, full of ecstasy. Mahaprabhu is lamenting. There is a separation from Krishna. This Radharani's mood. That is totally reflected by Radharani, Lalita and Vishaka Sakhi. That is Prema Bhakti, very high standard. And that is explained in Gita Govind. And see how fortunate is Jaidev Goswami. Mahaprabhu gave him the conception of love of Krishna, Radha Krishna. And he manifested that love in form of Gita Govind, which again is relished by Mahaprabhu himself after nearly 300 years or 350 years, along with his associates. Prema Bhakti for acharyas and pure devotees. But at the same time, same Mahaprabhu, along with Gadadhar Pandit, not in his Antalila time, earlier time, teaches us how to do Vaidhi Bhakti. And what does he do? He is reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Dhruva Maharaj, Canto 7, Prahlad Maharaj, with Gadadhar Pandit, who is non-different than Rukmini in Dwarka Lila, Aishwarya Bhav. And not once, 100 times. So here, Mahaprabhu apni acharim bhaktim sikainu sabare. So this is a lesson for a sadhaka. They're focused on the devotees of the Lord. Here their pastimes. Don't jump to the 10th canto, Ras Lila. Understand, glorify Krishna and his associates and his devotees. Study the creation created by the Lord. Appreciate his greatness. That too will come by the mercy of acharyas and spiritual masters connected to these four sampradayas. Prabhupada is explaining to us. And then, by the mercy of Krishna and acharyas, one can hopefully go to a higher level of pure devotion, love of Krishna, prema pumartho mahan. And as Sanatana Goswami says, who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself best example of Srimad Bhagavatam, epitome of Srimad Bhagavatam. How it should be read, how it should be implemented in life. And Jaidev Goswami also, through his whole life, simple, austere life, living in a small hut. Much details are not available about this great Acharya. He was born 300 years earlier, before the advent of Mahaprabhu, in a village called Kindu Bilwa in Birgum district of Bengal in the year 1170. And he finished his pastimes in the year 1245. Simple personality, simplicity. I will not go into the details now because there's no time. But then the pastime that we commonly hear is first will King Lakshman Sen. How he tasted him. He said, I don't want your association as Mahaprabhu tasted Prataparudra Maharaj. I don't want to associate with king. He's a Vishayi king. The same mood Mahaprabhu gave to Jaidev Goswami. I don't want to be with you. I don't want to associate with you. You are Vishayi. You are king. Even though you come in the role of a mendicant, guise of a mendicant, I know you are not a mendicant. That much vision he had. And what is Lakshman Sen saying? He's very humble. He says, yes, I wanted to associate with you. I beg your association. And this is compassion. This is humility. And Jaidev Goswami was touched by this humility. He said, okay, I'll accept. But I will stay separately. Build me a small hut. And he started staying in Champahatti. And there he started writing Geet Govind. And we know the particular pastime. How he felt that the Krishna's great servitor Radharani is maybe in Leela aspects more superior to Krishna. But then he was a bit again transcendentally bewildered. He wanted to mention that yes, Krishna in the Man Leela wanted to put his head on the lotus feet of Radharani. Then he said, oh, how can you do this? How can I do this? It may be offensive. Let me think. And what are the words, that sentence, udaram. I forgot the line. 3. Dehi tava pada pallavam udaram. So he was confused, transcendentally confused, not materially like us. So let me take a break. He went for the bath in Ganges. And Lord Krishna, the Bhaktavatsala, the who behaves like a Bhruta Vatsal, servant, who is dear to the servants of the Lord. He appeared in the guise of Jaidev Goswami. When Padmavati, the wife of Jaidev Goswami, could not differentiate between Krishna in the role of Jaidev and real Jaidev. He said, I'm hungry. Feed me. Give me prasad. Before that, just let me go and complete my verse. So he went inside, wrote this verse, had prasad, and went back. After some time, Jaidev Goswami appeared. He understood the whole situation. When Padmavati said, oh, why will you come again? You just had prasad. He said, me? I came back for prasad. So you realized, went back, saw the same line there. Love of Krishna. Reciprocating love. Bhaktavatsal Krishna is reciprocating with his devotee, pure devotee. He said, yes, I accept, let the whole world accept that I am putting my head on the lotus feet of Radharani. That is the greatness of Krishna. That's the greatness of his pure devotees. And this is the greatness of Jaidev Goswami, whose Tirobhav day is today. So I was requested by Yugal Shyam Prabhu. I have not qualified, but that's why I said with the mercy of all of you, wonderful source of inspiration for me, I could speak something. Thank you. And I might have extended about 5-10 minutes, so please forgive me. Thank you. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaved Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Hare Krishna. No questions. I think already time. Yes? If I can answer, Rasu Prabhu is there. He will answer. So that's why I'm encouraging you to ask a question. Okay. I follow instructions.
Thanks. Rajendra, for arranging a Mahajana to speak about Mahajana verse. So I feel grateful that Krishna's arrangement is there, and moreover, I am fortunate that I am able to attend today, because I am supposed to go somewhere, but something happened, so I am here. So I feel myself very grateful to get your association, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Just by seeing you, I become happy. But what to speak of getting chance to hear from you? Very rarely, which is. So thank you very much, Prabhuji, for your enlightenment. My question is, you raised this question that how to attain this nature. So why I could understand is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us that how we practice Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti, and then, practice through Gadadhar Pandit, he told that don't just jump, directly there. So I want to know more about how to attain this nature. Can you throw some light so that I have some hope?
The way I understand it, Prabhu, I can sense that you already have a nature. The very fact that you identified me as a part and parcel of Krishna and considered Krishna is great. His pure devotees are Mahajans. So, but you saw my purity of the soul in my heart, which is, I can't see it. And then that's why you called me a Mahajan. So that's your vision. So you must be already on that level. Okay? So this is the first my understanding of it. The second, as now ultimately, what is sadhana? Sadhana is a practice. Our mind tells and plays a lot of disturbance and havoc with us. So it is always better not to listen to the mind, accept the Shabd Praman. I'm specifically talking to you because you have a lot of such inquiries, how to do it, etc. Just do it. Just follow what is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. Don't try to analyze. Analysis is beyond our understanding. We are too small to understand the analysis. So just follow. I know you are asking in the mood of humility, but this is for my purification. Let's just believe in the Shabda Praman, serve the devotees, try to glorify the devotees and Krishna, and we have that faith that Krishna knows. As long as we are sincere, there's a sincerity, seriousness, and non-duplicity. And I have those qualifications. So be sincere, be serious, non-duplicitous, and practice what is there Prabhupada has given us, such a treasure. Don't encourage your mind. Up to a certain level, yes. Philosophical understanding, yes. But mental and all, you are doing all right. You have given up everything. You are in a Brahmachari ashram, associating such wonderful Vaishnavas. You are hearing, plus you are attending Bhagavatam Brahmachari classes, doing a lot of seva, book distribution. In Vela, you are doing a lot of seva. So yes, that is it. But your humility may be telling you that I would like to do more, I would like to do more. That's quite natural. It's quite natural. Go on thinking like that. Yes, I don't know anything. I would like to improve. I would like to. Yes, that's a good. It gives us impetus, momentum for advancement. So on the contrary, you are my example, encouragement. I wish I could ask such questions. I can't. Your desire to learn more and more and more is very encouraging for me, very inspiring for me. So please bless me. Thank you very much. Have I satisfied you? No. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Grunthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And what a name also Maharaj has given. Wonderful, beautiful name.